A security camera captured a white Vauxhall Corsa leaving the quiet parking lot in the early hours of the morning. The lone driver kept his head down, avoiding the lens, but there was no mistaking the significance of the moment. Inside a small ground-floor flat in East Kilbride, Scotland, Phoenix Spencer Horn's car remained untouched. That would be the last confirmed sighting of her. Phoenix was a well-loved young woman, known for her warmth and gentle nature. She worked at a small hotel and cafe, a place where everyone knew her by name. She had confided once that her boyfriend was the love of her life, and together they shared a modest flat on a quiet street. Neighbors recalled hearing strange noises that night. An argument, followed by an unsettling silence. By the morning of November 17, 2024, Phoenix had not appeared for work, nor had she called her mother, a ritual she never broke. Instead, brief, harsh text messages arrived that didn't resemble her voice at all. The flat remained dark, the curtains drawn tight. Only faint slivers of light escaped through the cracks. By the third day, a strange odor began to spread from the apartment. When Mathin, her boyfriend, left the flat, he carried Phoenix's car keys in his hand. His face was blank, void of any emotion. Behind those closed doors, something had gone terribly wrong. But what exactly? Phoenix's life, though seemingly ordinary, was full of warmth and routine. She had grown up in East Kilbride, close to her family, and everyone who knew her spoke of her kindness. She loved her work at the Strathaven Hotel, a job that connected her to hundreds of visitors and colleagues who adored her calm demeanor. Her relationship with Mathin had been steady, though not without its quiet moments of tension. Friends described their bond as loving but intense. Phoenix often confided in those she trusted about small disagreements, nothing out of the ordinary, yet hints of unease sometimes crept through her texts. In the days before her disappearance, neighbors noticed subtle changes. The curtains were closed more often, the living room lights stayed on longer than usual, and faint arguments could be overheard through thin walls. On the surface it seemed trivial, but in hindsight, these were the quiet warning signs of something far darker. November 16, 2024, began like any other day. Phoenix completed her late shift at the Strathaven Hotel and sent a brief text to her mother. "I'll call you tomorrow." That message would mark the last communication anyone had with her. Around 9 p.m., she returned to the flat she shared with Mathin. Neighbors noticed the living room lights remained on unusually late, only to switch off abruptly around midnight. Once darkness fell, the quiet of the street was pierced by subtle, eerie noises. Investigators later determined that around 12:13 a.m., something critical had occurred. There were no loud shouts or crashes, only a prolonged silence that pressed against the walls. An upstairs neighbor reported hearing running water and the scraping of something heavy across the floor, a sound that would haunt them in retelling. When Phoenix didn't show up for work the following morning, concern escalated. Family and friends tried calling and texting, receiving only curt, unfamiliar replies. Alarmed, her mother contacted the police. The search began quietly at first. Inquiries with neighbors, small canvassing of the area, and checks of local CCTV. Yet every lead seemed to unravel into confusion. Phoenix's phone records indicated brief, unexplained activity, messages sent, calls made, but none by her hand. Investigators noticed inconsistencies in Mathin's statements, subtle discrepancies in his timeline. At the flat, the faint odor persisted, and a sense of unease lingered in every corner. As the investigation unfolded, strange details emerged. Mathin's behavior was increasingly odd, detached, emotionless, almost rehearsed in his explanations. Digital evidence suggested messages sent under Phoenix's name were written in a tone she never used. Neighbors shared unsettling observations, shadows moving behind curtains, lights flickering without cause, whispers that seemed out of place. Each piece of evidence painted a picture more disturbing than the last. What had truly occurred that night? The question gnawed at everyone involved, growing heavier with each passing day. Forensic teams combed the flat, analyzing traces of blood, fingerprints, and other physical evidence. Investigators reconstructed the timeline, cross-referencing witness accounts, phone data, and security footage. Slowly, a pattern emerged. It suggested that whatever had happened was deliberate, meticulous, and chillingly premeditated. Interviews with friends revealed subtle tensions that, in retrospect, were ominous signs. Psychological profiles of those close to Phoenix began to emerge, hinting at hidden aggression, manipulation, and control. The calm exterior of her life masked something far darker. By the final days of the investigation, the truth became unavoidable. Evidence indicated that Phoenix had likely been trapped in her own home, struggling silently while the world outside remained unaware. Methan's behavior, the strange noises, the foul odor, all pointed toward a grim reality. Authorities discovered that crucial hours had been manipulated, traces of deliberate obfuscation left behind. Each revelation added to the horror. This was not an accident, nor a simple disappearance. It was a calculated act, concealed behind a veneer of normalcy. Phoenix Spencer Horn's story leaves more questions than answers. Her life, full of light and warmth, was extinguished behind closed doors. Neighbors, friends, and family were left with haunting gaps in understanding. What truly occurred in that flat on the cold night of November the 16th, 2024? Were the events contained within those walls entirely human, or did something more sinister shadow the moments no one witnessed? Her absence resonates, a chilling reminder that evil often hides in the ordinary, waiting silently and striking when least expected.